Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Today I will continue with the problem-based learning. The subtopic for today's session is problem scenario. Okay, what is problem scenario? Alright. Okay, in PBL, the learner will learn, construct their understanding, construct their meaning by solving the problem scenario given. So this problem scenario act as a trigger or appetizer for learning process. So in this session, we will continue to learn mostly about problem scenario. Remember, for part 1 and part 2, I already explained about what is PBL is all about and what is the step need to be done in order to do the PBL session. So I'm Faiza, I'm from KAIS, UTEM, and today we will learn about problem scenario. Okay, if you can see from this slide, all right, some of the example for problem scenario. Yeah, so normally problem scenario, you need to design in such a way like a story, okay, so that a student will feel that they have the responsibility to solve the problem. Okay, so that student need to understand why we give them the problem, and some of the example for the problem, if you can see here, maybe we need to give them paper base. It could be some of the data from the experimental lab, some video, photo. Okay, for example, like if we want to teach them about the network topology, perhaps we could show some of the statistic or maybe some of the screen capture showing that the data may be gone, the data may be lost from their database. Okay, so for example, like this one, food indigestion. So actually I use this one during my study to teach about the digestion process. Okay, so this video showing that one of the person here in one of the McDonald's vomiting. Yeah, so this could create some question. Okay, maybe some student will say that, oh, okay, this is maybe because of the diarrhea problem, or maybe because of the choking. Also, maybe this could be something to start off their discussion. Okay, so problem scenario, not necessarily we need to use a computer in order to present the problem scenario. It could be in any paper base, or maybe a discussion, or maybe the conversation between two people, for example, or maybe some memo from the head of the department showing so and so that you need to solve this problem. So the most important part in any problem scenario is you need to give them the role play. Some of the checklists, yeah, if you want to design the effective PBL scenarios, make sure the learning outcome. What actually the expected learning outcome for the students? What do you want them to learn? And make sure they can reflect to their prior knowledge. Okay, and also make sure appropriate level in terms of the student understanding. And normally we will design a problem. We will need to check how long is the problem could be solved, right? Is it 3 months? Is it 3 weeks? It could be a different in terms of the depth. It should be sufficient to attract interest for the student. It should be real life problem. What is real life problem? It's day to day problem. It's happen. It's closely. Student can imagine the problem. I mean, like if you show the problem, the problem technical error for the traffic light, for example, they can relate. They can visualize. But then if you give them the problem like something happened in the galaxy, for example, maybe they are not, so they cannot relate, they cannot visualize that. Okay, so the problem must be very interesting. The title of the problem is should be catchy enough so that they can learn, they can encourage students to seek for the explanation to solve the problem. It should be ill structured, meaning there is no single solution. Okay, open ended, okay, and multidisciplinary. So normally for in my subject, I relate the one subject to another subject, so that we took both lecturer could I mark from the substance is different from the IT perspective, and my colleague from the pusat bahasa, for example, they can check in terms of the communication skill, presentation skill, okay, and should be promote the participation, yeah, from the student, because they need to learn in the group. Okay, let's see what is the example. I give you one example here. This one actually is joint venture program between UMP and also AKEM. Alright, so AKEM is a higher education leadership academy, ya, atau Akademi Kepimpinan Pendidikan Tinggi Malaysia. So we give them these courses actually for unit bakat, for managers in all public university in charge the human resource, especially for the succession planning part. So all one of the module number 9 is the future of human resources. So we give them the activity. I myself and Prof. Maizura from UMT, we two of us has been assigned to teach this module. It's not long time ago, it's last 16 April. So during the PKP, we have to use webinar to teach them, okay. But the most important part here is the problem scenario. If you can see here, all right, this is one of the example which show some capture the magazine, okay, Time magazine, and we mentioned here that this is the big word from Peter Drucker, for example, okay, mentioned that the chances of are good that up to 60% of your company hiring decision prove to be mistake in the first 12 months. So all this is the problem scenario. They have the introduction. Okay, so here when students read this statement, they will understand that this is related to them. And ACAP, this is the start the question here. This is intro, this is the question. ACAP sought your advice. And as an expert in data analytic tools, we give them a role, even though they are the leaders in charge HR. But now in this subject, in this context, they play an important role as a data analytic, because we teach them about data analytic. So they need to formulate a simple dashboard. This is the thing that they need to submit. Okay, so they need to consider this one, and as a data scientist expert. So this is the role play. Make sure every problem scenario should have a role play. What is the task given? So normally if you say that as a data scientist, so I ask them to Google what is the role of the data scientist, and what you need to do is to create the dashboard. So you have to search what is the data analytic tool and what means by dashboard. Okay, so for example, like by giving this one, we try to structure their thinking process by providing this filler table. Okay, so if you can see here in the filler table, right? Filler is fact, idea, remember? Learning issues and action plan. So what is the fact? Given from the problem, idea, learning issue and action plan. So this is very important so that we could systemize their thinking. All right. So normally fact is directly from the problem scenario given. For example, like this is I copy again the problem scenario, and succession planning is one of the fact. You cannot simply put anything which is not in the problem given. Yeah. For example, like company will provide like 10K for the talent development program. You cannot simply put that as a fact, because it's not happen. It's not listed in any of this sentence here. Okay, so it's directly from fact. So this one will train our student to understand the problem and try to extract the right facts. Yeah, so from the facts they need to understand what is the idea. Normally the idea is the idea is something that they need to understand the possibility from the scenario given. Okay, for example, like this one, technology could be used as a solution. That is the idea. And the learning issue, what is the learning issue? Normally is the what, why, which, that kind of the question. Okay, so in terms of the learning issue, they need to understand why, what data analytic, what is the, so many questions they can ask. Yeah, so for example, like why this happened, what is the dashboard. Okay, so who is the person in charge? So this is all they need to look for the action. The next step action is they need to do the, for example, data cleaning. They need to do interview the data analytic expert. They need to search this one. They need to, this is the action they have to do in order to come out with the dashboard. So FILA action. Okay, and finally they will prepare the solution and present, okay, to their lecturer. So by having this kind of the structured thinking, we can train our student to be more systematically and be more responsible, and then they will work in the group to discuss, and they need to do the presentation. And as a lecturer or facilitator in PBL context, we need to guide them. If say that if their fila table is not meet to what we expect from them, okay, so we need to scaffold learner, meaning that we need to provide maybe extra resources so that they back into the right track. So PBL is not just you simply give the problem to student and you expect them to come up with a solution. No, 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 that is not the right way. So we need to structure their thinking, we need to check their fila, and we need to do some discussion. It's a role play, remember, and also we need to scaffold the learner. All right, so I hope that that is very quick example, and I will explain another example in the next video session. Okay, so with that, thank you very much, and hope you like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Yeah, thank you.